Well, hail, hail, the gang's all here. It's the Gun Cranks, and we've got a thundering herd today. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, along with Roy Huntington, special assignments editor. We've got Erick Gelhaus. I'm not sure where they're all on the screen. We've got Erick Gelhaus, the editor of AmericanCop.com, and Tom McHale, who is the editor of American Handgunner. Hello,
you need
gentlemen.
to mention the special bonus. This is a special bonus edition. We're offering 33.33% more gun cranks today.
Good point.
No
Good
extra
point. He's got that big math brain on him. So
I'm a numbers guy.
Actually, we wanted to have a thundering herd because we thought this was going to be a great episode, because we're going to talk about shooting trends that need to go away. And as the guy who let us in, I get the first trend we want to see go away, because I want to see Tom McHale's head explode. So that trend is
I can't
gun
wait.
bunnies. Gun bunnies. Now, before Tom gets started, we're normal red-blooded American males, which whatever your choices are, that's fine, but we're all, hetero males. And we like looking at attractive women wearing next to nothing, but what we don't like is seeing attractive women wearing next to nothing that profess to be shooters. Hi, I'm Bambi, and I'm a shooter. Well, when Bambi doesn't know which end of the gun the bullet comes out of, that's a gun bunny, and that's dumb. So, Tom, you like gun bunnies, right?
Entirely too well. You've been practicing that on the weekends, haven't you?
In front of my wife, yeah.
Now, you know what kind of hacks me off a little bit? Just a little. Like, anybody with a tight shirt can start a social media channel, and within 72 hours, it'll have 674,000 followers. And you know what kind of hacks me off about that? That's just a reflection on how pathetic men are.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to, right? We are absolutely pathetic.
Well, I've told a story before that I'm going to tell publicly now. Is I've got a friend he's one of these guys. He's super intelligent, really, really intelligent. And we were hanging out, and I was asking him, what do you like to see on the internet? What about Guns Magazine, American Handgunner, American Cop? I was trying to get some feedback. And he was giving me some very good ideas and thoughts and concepts. And then he goes, but you know what? If I click on a YouTube and there's boobies, I'm going to watch it. And I thought,
yeah.
He just got down to the basics of being a man. So
right,
I guess it's biology, right?
True story. True story on this topic. A few years back, was at a media event, and a gun bunny was there, quite popular by the numbers, and the photographer / dude part of the equation was also there, and he was ranting and raving at dinner about the objectification of women and how these women on YouTube who don't know what they're doing are getting all the views and blah, 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 blah. And that's not like their channel. What's getting the traffic are the clever captions. That's what's getting, and it gets better. It gets better. And in the same breath, is this the Scouts honor? I only made it to Webelos. Somebody help me out here.
Webelo.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't make it. But anyway, same sentence, I kid you not, I have witnesses. He said, we need to do another bikini, post soon. We got to do those periodically.
When the whole outdoor hunting channels started to happen, 10, 12 years ago, I think it was, the SHOT Show was full of people who would come into your booth, and there'd be a guy with a camera and another guy who was the voice, and then a blonde girl. And they had a hunting show, right? Which was fine. Except I remember looking at a lot of these shows, and it was basically Brittany goes deer hunting. And so, there we are in Colorado. It's sunshiny. She's got a tank top on, full makeup, hair done. And the guide is there basically pointing deer out. And then there's her shooting. A miracle occurs. And the next thing is she's posing behind a deer. Yeah, with with
reality TV.
Yeah, with makeup perfect, and and they never talked about what was the caliber, what'd you do, tell me how did you stock it, did you whatever, and then it's usually followed up with her brushing her hair at the end of the day, and getting out of the jacuzzi at the camp, place. and having a drink and laughing. And I just thought, ah. But you're right, because if a guy sees 10,000 boobs and then another one walks up the street, he's going to stop and look. And there you go. And
Did you say that on the internet?
These people know that. So
I just want to know where the hunting camp with the jacuzzi is, because I've never had that.
I had one in Texas. It had a jacuzzi. I know.
Yeah.
I don't think there's change in this, though. I don't think there's any changing this,
No.
Yeah. The other one are the slow motion girl laying on the ground, slow motion. Not that I've ever actually watched one in its entirety. I've only heard about this. But they're shooting like a Barrett 50, and they have it in slow motion, and you see the ripple of the shock wave travel completely through her. And I know you have to look at it like 200 times to properly understand what's going on. So,
what I don't understand is, why is there side boob involved? I'm just saying.
I know.
It's going off the rails fast.
I know.
This is the whole show, right?
We were supposed to talk topics and trends, and we've so far spent like 20 minutes talking about the Jiggle twins.
That's a topic in trend, Should we go on to the next one then?
Yes, please.
Yes, that's where I was trying to go. Well, I've got one, and you guys that hunt know what I'm talking about. Hunting used to be a pastoral pursuit, reflective, meditative thing. And I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, suddenly everything became combat oriented. I mean, you look at advertising for deer hunting or the deer hunting shows, or even waterfowl. Back when I was growing up, waterfowlers, were guys that smoked pipes and just had a good old time. And now, if you look at some of the advertising for like waterfowl, steel shot and stuff, it sounds like the ducks are either carrying 50 cows or they've got a switchblade. And this whole militarization of the outdoors makes me nuts.
And the shotguns look like tactical shotguns, a lot of them.
Yep.
They're all black and polyformed and ribs and, and red dot sights. And you're exactly right. No, you're exactly right. Even the regular hunting, like deer hunting or something, it's a tactical assault on a deer.
Wow, yeah. I am not watching the right channels.
They're all that way. I'm telling you, they are. And it's just... It's almost like bro hunting, if you're familiar with the term bro country, Got my pickup truck and some chicks with big jumblies, and we're going out on a cornfield. That's okay, but every song was like that. Well, bro hunting is the same thing. You got the tactical Wonderbeard guy, and he's taking 6,000-yard shots on a whitetail, and, that was really I'm not saying that the shooting part of it wasn't a challenge, but I don't understand why we're high-fiving and dancing the jig like we just defeated the Taliban. The whole thing makes me crazy.
I agree. You're shooting a deer, for crying out loud. And you've got a $5,000 rifle. You've spent the last year honing the load. You have a $2,000 scope. You're set up with a $3,000 spotting scope on a deer that's minding his own business 500 yards away, eating an apple. and you shoot it. See, to me, that's not like, hey, bro, way to go, man. You rock. It's like, no, you cheated. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm a FUD. I'll admit it. I'm a FUD. I want to hear what Erick has to say about trends in training that he wishes would go away.
Okay, so before I do that, can I confess that I deer and pig hunt with a 6.8 AR?
Of course you do.
Or is that bad?
You work at gun sight.
Good choice in caliber. I like the 6.8. That's a fun rifle. Me and Erick are going to go on a bro hunt.
Dude.
Because I got one.
Drills for the sake of drills versus skills, right? Like I can go out and shoot X drill in X time, not like I've got this skill and this skill and this skill and they all go together in this drill, right? So I've put the work in trying to master the skills and now I can do a drill. Kind of the part of that is timers strictly for the sake of speed and splits versus showing improvement. All right, like I started out with a draw that was 1.7, then I got to 1.5, now I'm at 1.1. but yet everybody's got to flash the split time on it, and nobody's assessing, and it's a target the size of a bed sheet, and in some cases people are just freaking blazing. It's the guy equivalent of the gun bunny.
I was going to say it's because of YouTube and social media and all that stuff that we're on right now. So I guess we doubt thou dost protest us too much, but you're not going to see us shaving a tenth of a second off our splits just for the sake of shaving a tenth of a second off.
Yeah, it was like the article we published last week at American Cop, where I was making the point that, yes, I get it. As the editor of an online magazine, there's some irony in saying people don't read enough.
Well, I think
there's something to be said for shaving time. I went from a 94-second draw to a 92-second draw after a class I took with Erick. So, I was like, hey, that's quite an improvement,
it is.
for 1 week.
And I get it. I get it if it's for the sake of improvement, but it's more, I see too much of this. It's just for the time. It's using the timer for the sake of the time, not to measure improvement in skill. That's all.
Yeah, it's just that is all. It's like, look, I do it in 1.2 seconds. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I agree. If you want to play and see how fast you can knock these plates down, there's nothing wrong with that. Go play, right? Pick your brass up when you're done. But if you really want to get better at surviving an encounter, it's like, remember, it's the old shoot, as you reload, you scan, right? And then you go back and engage the target. One of my funnest things I like to do is do something to the target to the far right, like put an orange football in their hand or something. And then you'll bring them out, you'll say, okay, shoot, scan, and go back. And they shoot, they scan, they go back, and I stop them. And I go, is there anything unusual about the target on the right? No, they'll virtually never see it. So, they may have the fastest split time in the world, but they're dead.
I've got one drill I'll do. I'll have somebody shoot a plate rack for time, couple runs, and then I'll go put a no-shoot target down range and bring them back and let them shoot the plate rack with the timer on. And you watch times like double and triple when all of a sudden they realize, I don't get to blaze. I got to not shoot that thing over there.
Good. That is really a good thing. Yeah, that's really a good thing. I don't go to indoor ranges anymore, and primarily I don't go to indoor ranges because there are too many people with, standard capacity semi-auto pistols, but you know what I mean, guns that hold 20 rounds or, 22 rounds, and they've got 400 rounds of cheap reloads, and they hang one target up at 7 yards, and they empty their magazines as fast as they can load them, to where they have this whole cloud of brass around them and in their aisle. And there's bullets all over the target. Nobody has learned anything at all. And as Brent, as you said, they're high-fiving and doing chest bumps and bro and all that. And I just thought, just go play a video game, would you? Because, I'm trying to hone my sight picture at 25 yards, or I'm testing a new load that I'm doing. It's like, I don't mind if you're there shooting and stuff, but be cognizant of the people around you. And don't do what Erick was talking about, which is just, hey, my split time is down at this. It's like, well, that doesn't matter in the real world generally. And you making 400 empty brass cases, it didn't prove or solve anything. Okay, I'm
more for me to reload, so.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it.
I'll tell you kind of a funny story that's related, but maybe not perfectly related, but it was pretty funny. I was talking to my son-in-law, and we were going to go visit over Christmas, and I said, have you got a video game? And he goes, yeah, I don't play it much, fatherhood and all that. And I said, have you got one of the shoot-'em-up games like Call of Duty or one of those? And he goes, I think so, don't remember. And I said, I literally have not played a video game since my kids were of that age. And that's back when it was real primitive and real chunky. And I guess now, it's incredibly immersive, and you can, talk to other people, work as a team. Even the computer has some artificial intelligence that they don't just walk out in front of stuff and let you shoot them. And he goes, yeah, it's really addictive. And I said, well, that's why I don't have one, because I'm afraid I would get too involved in it. And he goes, but you got to understand, within 15 seconds, you're going to be killed. by a 9-year-old in his mom's basement. And it'll happen every time, and you're going to get really upset. I said, I hadn't thought of that. So, where have we come to the point that I'm 60 years old, been SWAT, cop, blah, 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 been shooting. I've got a few experiences under my belt, and I'll get waxed by a 9-year-old every time. It's
See, but the difference... No, see, the difference is, though, is that you will survive in the real world,
I hope.
No, yeah, I mean, in other words, that first time that you hear gunfire, and it's not a video game. I mean, I think we've all been there, and it's like, this is real different, and it takes a concerted effort to clear your mind and work the problem, It's like you're not worried about split times. You're worried about identifying the threat and who do I have to save and all. And that's where video games, last video game I played, I swear to God, was Pac-Man. I don't even know.
Was it Tactical Pac-Man?
I've never, and I think I played it like 4 times. I was on a date and she said, oh, let's play Pac-Man. And I thought, I have no idea what that is. So we sat down at this college, chase these little stupid, I realized, this is stupid, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
Guys, any parting thoughts on trends you'd really like to see go away? And notice we didn't pick out any instructors. We just said any trends.
Well, yeah, can we say, let's not use any names, but we all know what we're talking about. It's the instructor du jour, kind of. The guys you see on their YouTube channel, they're doing these really ridiculous drills and whatnot. And the fanboys are making comments about, you rock, dude, and everything. It's like, I don't know. We've all had good classes from good instructors where I always thought when you come away from one of those classes and you realize that you're not as good as you thought you are, and it's frightening. Yeah. It doesn't matter how good you thought when you went there. When you were done, you realize you didn't know as much as you should have known,
I had an experience years ago, and I'm going to be very vague intentionally, but I was helping somebody with a range and an instructor du jour. And one of the guys that really it's one of those, you either love him or hate him. And the people that love him literally want to have his babies regardless of gender. So when they showed up, they did a lot of really spectacular stuff that I don't think had any practical application, and I don't think the students learned anything. And they otherwise trashed the range to the point we had to call the instructor and said, you need to get back here and fix all this, put the furniture back where it was, clean up all this crap. And they did. That was the end of it. But my buddy later said in the after action that it was like seeing the Grateful Dead come to town. You kind of figured they'd put together a little charcoal brazier and have tasty veggie burritos. And it was an experience. It wasn't just a training class. So if you find yourself trying to figure out, am I at a Grateful Dead concert or am I at a training class? That might be your first clue.
And I like the ones where the instructor challenges one of the students to a fist fight. That's a really good trend, Yeah, I've seen it. You've probably all seen similar things.
Yeah.
It's
on a related topic, I thought we got rid of the whole have students stand down range while the instructor shoots between them and over their shoulders. I mean, we got rid of that years ago, yet I continue to see the videos pop up. Conditioning. So you get used to that buzz going by your ear,
I never thought about it. This could probably be a 4 or 5 hour video series.
Yeah, it could.
Maybe we should. Well, let's wrap it up here, guys.
There will be a part 2. We'll do a part 2 in a couple weeks, right?
Absolutely. And we might even get to it next week, because I have to mention next week is the Shooting Hunting Outdoor Trades SHOT Show. It's the big, the Paris Fashion Show, the Indy 500, the Daytona 500, the inauguration day. It's the whole shooting match for the outdoor and shooting industry, and we're all going to be there. Well, actually, Roy's not going to be there, but he'll be there with us in spirit. But we're going to be doing.
Won't.
No, he won't.
He's going to be having a nice, relaxing week at home.
Yeah, because he's only been to like 150 of these. But no, we're all going to be there. What's cool this year is we're going to be doing live broadcasting from the show floor, a first ever. So check out our social media and our websites and all that stuff, and we will start promoting that. So please join us, tentatively speaking. Right now it'll be every day at 5 p.m. That's Tuesday through Friday next week. 5 p.m. local, Vegas time, which I believe is probably 8 p.m. Eastern and your various time zones in between. So, and where you can find out about that is gunsmagazine.com, americanhandgunner.com, americancop.com. We always try to talk up one of our platforms. Erick's talked the last couple of episodes. Tom, tell us what you got going on at American Handgunner and our special publications.
Well, I think the first thing we got to mention is Gun Cranks, which you are watching right now, is now available as a podcast, audio podcast on all the big networks. So whatever you like to listen to, Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, find us there. Second thing, YouTube during SHOT Show. I just wanted to clarify that. Thanks, Nick, for the reminder. Keep an eye out. We'll be there. And that's about it. We hope to be doing a lot of from the floor social media stuff, and we'll keep you posted.
And if there's anything you'd like to see, you can reach Tom at editor@americanhandgunner.com or myself at gunsmagazine.com and Erick, americancop.com. How do they get a hold of you?
Erick.Gelhaus at fmghq.com, or hit the Facebook and Instagram pages for American Cop, and I'll grab the messages there.
So make sure you follow all that cool stuff, because we're going to be pumping it out next week. We're going to be giving you great coverage of the SHOT Show. Well, on behalf of Roy Huntington, Erick Gelhaus, Tom McHale, I'm Brent Wheat, and we'll see you next week live from the SHOT Show.